Our national anthem. Naval Submarine School Chaplain Commander Rinaldi will deliver the invocation.
Could you bring the binder over? It's on the right side of the table there.
Yes, sir.
Let us pray together. Almighty eternal God, we give thanks for this day and your graciousness in watching over our lives and nation. We also give thanks for the times we can celebrate and recognize the achievement for the sailors who stand before us today. We are grateful for their long hours and investment in their first steps to graduate from the basic course. As the devotion demonstrated here will be lasting as they continue to progress at the Naval Submarine School and throughout their careers. Let them remember honor, courage, commitment, dedication to duty, and to always strive to excel no matter how challenging the task. For these are at the heart of what it means to be a submariner in the United States Navy. There is another group of devoted sailors we give appreciation for today as well. Lord, these instructors who trained them, mentored them, and often went the extra mile to see that their success is a true example of leadership and preservation of our heritage. We ask your blessing on this ceremony today and for our graduates. Let them see this as a beginning of greater things to come in the days ahead. Bless this command, our leadership, sailors, and families whose support we can never do without. For it is in your worthy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of the USS Jefferson City class. Each class at Basin Submarine School is named in honor of a fleet submarine from our proud history. The USS Jefferson City SSN 759, a Los Angeles class submarine, was the only ship of the United States Navy to be named for Jefferson City, Missouri. The contract to build her was awarded the Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Dock Company, Newport News, Virginia, on November 26, 1984, and her keel was laid down on September 21, 1987. She was launched on August 17, 1990, sponsored by Mrs. Susan A. Skelton, and was commissioned on February 29, 1992, with Commander Russell Harris in command. The Jefferson City launched 2 Block 3 Tomahawks as part of the strike on Iraq on September 3, 1996. Recently, the USS Jefferson City has completed 1 deployment to the 5th Fleet and 1 deployment to the 7th Fleet Area of Responsibilities, where her crew performed over 14 missions that were vital to national security. After her most recent deployment, the USS Jefferson City shifted home ports from Point Loma Naval Submarine Base in San Diego, California, to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, where she is in dry dock performing an extended overhaul. She is expected to be waterborne by mid-2019. Class, 8 weeks ago, we welcomed you here to the gateway to the silent service. Today we say job well done, as you are not addressed only as shipmate, but as a submariner. Today we are graduating 75 students with a grade point average of 80.94%, of which 9 graduated with distinction. Graduating with distinction requires a GPA of 90% or higher. Seated next to me are the instructors responsible for molding the future of the submarine force, STS-2 Raymond Stallings and ET-2 Robert King. Men, outstanding job. Interior Communications Chief Thomas Russell, United States Navy retired, a member of the Submarines Veterans Association, will be performing the Shipmates Remembrance Ceremony. Chief Russell joined the United States Navy in May of 1948, and after 2 years on a heavy cruiser on the West Coast, came to submarine school in June of 1950. Chief Russell served on the following boats: the USS Sea Robin, SS 407, USS Harder, SS 568, USS Seawolf, SSN 575, and USS Patrick Henry, SSBN 599 Gold. 7 patrols and an EB refueling later, Chief Russell retired from the Navy as an Interior Communications Chief in 1967. His next 3 careers were at Electric Boat Engineering for 3 years, 12 years in his own sail-making business here in Old Mystic, and 12 years as a solo management consultant in the industrial distribution field. Chief Russell is a Life and Holland Club member of the United States Submarines veteran, first a member in 1967, and then reinstated in 2000. Please welcome Chief Thomas Russell.
Thank you, Petty Officer Pavley. See you, Chief Brown. Command Master Chief Randy Reed, Chaplain Rinaldi, family and friends, graduates of Jefferson City class. It's an honor to be here this morning, and we're grateful to, isn't that nice? The little turning place covers the last name of the new commanding officer. So, since he isn't present, we'll just pass that by. Command Master Chief Reed for allowing U.S. submarine veterans to be a part of your basic enlisted submarine school graduation today. In 1963, shortly after the loss of USS Thresher, SSN 593, a World War II submariner named Dominic Joe Negri initiated the formation of a submarine veterans organization to recognize all U.S. submariners. Joe felt that what the World War II submariners did and the losses they suffered were important, and that those shipmates should always be remembered. As with the U.S. submarine veterans of World War II, Joe felt there should also be an organization that offered recognition and camaraderie for all U.S. submariners. Later in 1964, the United States Submarine Veterans was born. Over time, a ceremony was developed referred to as the tolling of the boats. And this is a time-honored tradition where the name of each submarine is called out and a bell is tolled twice. This ceremony, also called the two-bell ceremony, has since become a part of the proud heritage of the submarine service. Although the tolling of the boats is usually restricted to the services at the submarine memorials east and west, we as U.S. sub-vets are here today to welcome you to the submarine force and invite you to join us in remembering our shipmates. The first sentence of the U.S. Submarine Veterans Creed says, "To perpetuate the memory of our shipmates who gave their lives in the pursuit of their duties." In doing so, let us pause now for a moment of silence to express our gratitude and respect for our shipmates' ultimate gifts of service. Please stand for the moment of silence. The toll of the ship's bell reminds us of the reverence we owe to our departed shipmates who now guard the honor of our country in the ocean's depths. Let it be a reminder of the faith they have confided in us, and let us who gather here not forget our obligations and in silence breathe a prayer for our shipmates. There is a port of no return, where ships may ride at anchor for a little space, and then some starless night the cable slips, leaving only an eddy at the mooring place. Gulls fear no longer, sailor, rest your oar. No tangled wreckage will be washed ashore. Thank you. You may be seated. Well, here I get a chance just to say a few words. And, nice to see you all here, as always. But I just have one subject to speak of, and that is submarine qualification. You see, going to submarines is kind of like joining a club, but it's a little different club. It's a special club. Some of you, a few of you, cooks and storekeepers, etc. Oh, excuse me, culinary specialists. We'll head off directly to a boat, but others who are going to be technical guys, mechanicals, weapons. We'll have other courses here running 10 weeks, all the way up to 18 weeks. But then they'll head out to the boat. You see, membership in this club is getting qualified. And you've probably heard this before. You'll hear it again, and it'll keep on. But see, the importance of this whole thing is that when you go on board unqualified, you are a risk. If something happens in the ship and you're the only one standing there and you don't know what to do, it's a risk. So, therefore, you're kind of looked down on. They even have funny little names for you if you're unqualified. You maybe feel you're being treated a little poorly. But here's the solution to that. It's learning how to join the club. And that is to get qualified as soon as possible. Sooner the better. You all have a year to get qualified. And that's enlisted and officer. There are officers who have not made the year and have bilged out. And there are several, many enlisted that have not made it. But if you get started, head out. The secret is put all your spare time, other than eating, sleeping, and standing watch, to qualification. Grab your piping manual, your flashlight, head down, tail up, poking in all the places in the boat that you're allowed to get into. If you can qualify in 6 months, you will be head and shoulders above all the rest of the non-quals. If you can qualify in 3 months, you will be a star. Every man on that ship will know you by name. It just puts you on, really on the top of the list. I have to mention that because I've been there. On Sea Robin, when I qualified, and I tell this to all of you to keep as a secret, but we had 2 weeks after leaving New London for the Med, and we were over at good old Napoli, and all of a sudden word came that the CEO wanted to see me in his cabin. So I went into the captain's cabin, yes, sir. Said, sit down, Russell. Seems like we have a little problem here. Your lady friend at home is expecting. You have a choice. You can either marry her or you can pay support for 18 years. See, quick choice there. I said, I guess we're going to get married. But I looked on the brighter side, and this is interesting because all of a sudden I said, if I'm going to get married, I'll be married in my uniform. And by God, I want to be wearing those dolphins when I'm married. 80 days later, I pinned them on. That was just night and day. And the thing that happens is that the crew pitches in to help wherever you go. If you're in the engine room, the diesel's there, showing you all about it, giving you all sorts of support. Get up in forward torpedo room and learn how to shoot a torpedo and all the valves and switches and everything that has to happen. But it's the guys that help you. And that can be the same way with you. If you really put the push on, they'll all step up and give you a hand, no matter what your cause is. But the sooner the better. If you can do it in 90 days, you'll be a king. So, let me leave you with this. One hitch or a career makes no difference. Once you're a qualified submariner, your life will never be exactly the same again. Because there's no other part of the military of the United States that compares with submariner. Because everyone else has a chance to look out, to get out of trouble, to move out, duck under something, and the submarine, there you are. And you write down, and it all depends. It could be something when you surface. It could be when you're really, really deep. But it happens fast, and you need to be there. So, the last thing I'll tell you is, all of you are exactly as important on that submarine as is the captain. And the captain will be the first one to tell you that. Thanks a million, guys and gals. Go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker for today is Senior Chief Richard Branham. Senior Chief Electronics Technician Submarines Richard C. Branham was born and raised in Dallas, Texas. He joined the United States Navy on September 7, 2001 and attended Recruit Training Command at Naval Station Great Lakes, Illinois. In November 2001, he reported to Basic Enlisted Submarine School, Groton, Connecticut for submarine training. After the completion of B.E.S.S, he then attended Radio A School and then immediately followed by ESM C School. Upon completion of C School in December of 2003, Senior Chief Branham received orders to report to the USS Salt Lake City, SSN 716, stationed in San Diego, California. During his first Western Pacific deployment in 2004, Senior Chief Branham qualified in submarines and was advanced to Electronics Technician, Petty Officer 2nd Class. As a part of the Communication Division during 2 years on board, he completed a successful Western Pacific deployment and 2 tactical readiness evaluations. In 2006, he transferred to the USS Jefferson City, SSN 759, stationed in San Diego, as part of a split tour after the USS Salt Lake City was slated for decommissioning. Senior Chief was on board for 2.5 years, completing a Western Pacific deployment and 2 tactical readiness evaluations. He was also advanced to Petty Officer 1st Class in 2007 and qualified Diving Officer of the Watch and Duty Chief Petty Officer. Senior Chief Branham reported to his first shore duty at Naval Submarine School in January 2009 as an instructor for the ESM maintenance pipeline. During his brief tour at sub-school, he was selected for Chief Petty Officer in September 2009. He also served as Naval Submarine School's 3M coordinator. In June 2010, Senior Chief Branham left shore duty early to commence his leading chief petty officer tour at sea. He once again received orders to the USS Jefferson City SSN 759 in San Diego as a Communications Division leading chief petty officer. While on board, Senior Chief Branham completed 1 Western Pacific deployment and 1 tactical readiness evaluation. He was selected for Senior Chief Petty Officer in June of 2013. To keep a trend going, Senior Chief Branham then received orders for another tour at Naval Submarine School in July of 2013, where he served as a Sailorization Department Division Officer and currently serves as the Training Support Department Master Chief. He is authorized to wear the Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, 3 awards, Good Conduct Medal, 4 awards, the Navy Expeditionary Medal, 2 awards, Navy Unit Commendation Ribbon, and various other medals and ribbons. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Chief Branham.
Thank you, each one, for that introduction. Appreciate it. Chad, Tom, good to see you again. Master Chief Reed. Distinguished guests, friends, family, and sailors of the graduating class of USC Jefferson City. It's an absolute honor, really, for me to be here. You know, I've sat on the other side of the table for a long time. Never got a chance to do this. I've sat there a few times, but never done this before. So it's truly an honor for me. This boat meant a lot to me. I spent almost 6 years on the boat, seen a lot of things, did a lot of things. But as I'll talk about in a minute, you know, one thing to remember about the ship that you're on, about the ship that you go to and that you serve on later, it's not just the boat itself, it's the crew that you remember. It's the time that you have with the crew, the deployments, sea stories, mid-watches, I mean, you name it. Instructors have probably said some things about that, but it truly is, that is right. You know, that's what you remember, that's what you take away. So if there's anything that you take away from that, among other things, just remember that when you go to the boat, that's what you remember. So the times I spent in the Jefferson City, that's what I remember closest to the crew. All right, so I'll get on with it. All right, again, congratulations. All right, it's a huge milestone, huge step in the next step of your journey and in your training. Your presence today is a testament to your patriotism, your determination and drive, your commitment to professionalism, and your commitment to Navy Corps values. These are qualities that will continue to serve you in the submarine force well into the future. Your graduation is a remarkable achievement. The intensive and rigorous classroom environment and physical training were all challenging. And as I look around the room, I see the future of submarine force and continue to be impressed with the quality of sailors that your generation has offered. All of you may have wondered at one point what lies ahead for you in the submarine force. The road ahead will be challenging, right? And as Tom said, qualification in submarines carries an incredible amount of hard work and long hours, right? You might have to take 3 months, or like I did, I took 10 months to the date. So, but it doesn't matter, right? However, I do know that you're up to the challenge, and by doing that is by graduating B.E.S.S. That's the point. All right, so I will give you some hints as to what to expect when you arrive in your first submarine. There will be a close-knit crew. Your division will probably be hard at work completing the tasks that they were assigned. A lot of hustle and bustle. It will seem very busy, sort of like a controlled chaos. You will have no idea what to look for because all you'll probably have is a name. And that sailor is your sponsor. You will spend many hours trying to look for this. And he or she will show you around the boat. And they will show you who is who and expect you to remember them. All right, so I highly encourage you to take a pad and pen with you. The truth is, you will more than likely not remember anything because you're too busy taking it all in. You'll be shown where your divisional spaces are and who the LPO and the chief are. It is important to remember these two as they will be your support for the next few years. You will then meet your division. They should be expecting you and will probably give you their advice for newly reported personnel. Everybody always has something to say. All right, so just stand by for that. Of course, as I'm saying this, you're probably wondering if it's actually true. Just ask those who were Dolphins. And I'm looking at him because I was his chief on the Jefferson, so if you're wondering. All right. And each probably has their own story about checking into their first boat. All right. Some of you will have fleet maternity status. Some of you will have guys that have been there for a while. So they'll probably tell you what the experience is like when they showed up on the boat. They will either A, hopefully try to let you not replicate that, or not really care and then let you replicate that. But again, it's all to be determined, right? And I forgot to mention that you were probably told to get out of the way several times, because you were probably in the way. Right? Remember what I said about controlled chaos, right? A lot of hustle and bustle, subway's very busy. Right? And it is nothing personal, okay? Let's just say it's trying to get the job done, right? So if you remember back to your boat tours that you took while you were in Base Solution Submarine School, you remember how tight the passageways are, then you'll understand what I mean by trying to get out of the way. It's kind of hard to do that. And oftentimes, like this, we are left with first impressions. And I say that because that's how I experienced the boat when I first shipped it. Exactly what I just described. Right? And as I look back at my time very fondly, I realized that it really wasn't that long ago. But one thing I really don't remember about my time is that I don't really remember training too much in B.E.S.S. A lot of it was after 9/11, and of course it was just a big blur. It was a lot smaller, but it was pretty much, you curriculum, do your test, do the trainers, and then get on out to the fleet. That I was too concerned about, being a radioman, that I didn't really give too much thought into B.E.S.S. But what I wished I would have gotten out of it was to actually understand what the guest speaker was trying to say. So if you get anything out today, please get a few things out of me today. So I do hope you remember some of this. Right? I do speak from the heart with this. Right? And while you might think that what you do on board a submarine is minuscule, think again. Again, as Tom alluded to earlier, everything you do matters. You do matter on a submarine, whether you want to believe it or not. And you also have the ability to change the Navy and the submarine force. It matters not your gender, your ethnic or religious background, your orientation, or your social status. Our struggles in this world are similar, and the lesson to overcome those struggles and to move forward by changing ourselves and the world around us will apply equally to all. Submarine school is designed to prepare you to be sailors who can eventually lead in an environment of constant stress, failure, and hardships. And I say failure because there will be times where you fail as a submariner. It happens, right? It's what you do to overcome that. And that is the culture of what we do. And we do this because we must. And if you can remember, go back to the first time you were in boot camp. One of the first things your RDCs would do when they stepped in the room was probably inspect your racks. At least I know it was for me. And if you did it right, the corners would be square, the sheets pulled tight, and the pillow centered at the head of the rack. It seems like a simple task, but every morning you're required to do this simple task, and you're required to do it to perfection. Now, of course, right now that kind of seems a little ridiculous, right? Because the instructors inspecting your rooms don't always look at your rack the way they did in boot camp. Well, they might look at it and see if it's nice and clean, but that's about it. Right? But think about this for a minute. If you make your rack when you wake up in the morning, then you have accomplished the first task of the day. It should give you a small sense of pride and encourage you to do another task. And at the end of the day, one task completed will turn into many tasks completed. Making your rack will also reinforce the fact that little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, there will be some of those. You will come home to a rack that's made by you. And a made rack gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. Again, I say this from the heart, and I say this as a certain divisional chief on board that submarine. And I can't begin to describe the impact you will make on the ship and the crew. Right, earlier I mentioned that Professor Paley was one of my rating on the Jeff City. And I had no idea that when I met him at sub school, when I saw him get on the boat, as I was leaving sub school, we both left sub school at the same time and showed to the boat, that he would have the impact that he had on the boat and that he continues to have. And the sailors like that, if we just like you can have that same impact on the submarine, on the Navy, and on a chief. You'll learn a lot about the basic capabilities of submarines that you see on the waterfront. But again, those boats are nothing without the crew. A submarine is merely an inanimate piece of machinery. It is the pride and professionalism of the crew which brings it to life and makes it a good boat. You and your shipmates, your attitude and actions are the only factors in making a boat good or bad. And together, we can make any submarine a great boat. Your actions and attitudes, which include wearing of the Navy uniform with pride, showing respect for all members of your crew, and displaying the proper military courtesies up and down your chain of command, as well as understanding that we do business on behalf of the United States of America. The submarine force needs your energy. The submarine force needs your desire to succeed. Your nation needs you to man the fleet as you have been trained. We are a maritime nation. Without you and your dedication to the cause, we would not be the greatest sea power to ever exist. You are a submariner. Be proud. Remember your accomplishments and encourage each other. Oh, and don't forget to make your rap. All right, congratulations. Keep trying.
Thank you, Senior Chief. The first award presented today is the Core Value Award. This award is presented to the student who most exemplifies honor, courage, and commitment. The recipient of this award is chosen by his shipmates with the concurrence of each one of the instructors. Naval Submarine School is glad to present this award to fireman recruit Corey Sarkeesian. The next award is sponsored by the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated Groton base. The Sub-Vets Heritage Award is presented to the class leader of each B.E.S.S class for superior leadership and management ability. Chief Thomas Russell, United States Navy retired, will present this award.
The proud history of the submarine force is filled with such names as O'Kane, Dealey, Fluckey, Ramage, Gilmore, Street, and Brielle. Their pictures are on the wall behind you. Granted, the average submariner's life is not filled with the trials and tribulations of these heroes of our heritage. However, they need to be kept close at heart. For at any time, you or your shipmates could be called upon to use your integrity, your perseverance, and your dedicated spirit to overcome obstacles and casualties much as they did. In the performance of his duties, the best class leader, above and beyond the call of the average student, embodies these very traits that we hold dear. On behalf of the United States Submarine Veterans Groton Base, I'm pleased to present this award to the class leader for the USS Jefferson City class, Fireman Apprentice, B.E.S.S. Good man.
The honorman for the class is a student with the highest academic average and maintained outstanding military bearing for the course of instruction. With a 96.45% average, the honorman for the USS Jefferson City class is Fireman Aaron Stegman.
So, we'll just stand there for a minute, right? So, hey, friends and family, as we go through the ceremony here, do you want to take photos? Just yell, hey, stop, photo, something. All right, this is for you, and we want to make sure you get this done. So, congratulations on being the honorman, but do you know what comes with this award? There's a requirement from you that comes with this award. Do you know what it is? All right, well, I'm going to tell you, but then I want you to think about it, and then you got to tell us what the answer is, all right? So the requirement is you have to buy lunch. And we'll wait for your answer and let us know where you're going to take us for lunch.
Dollar menu at McDee's.
Dollar menu at McDee's. Fair enough. All right. Congratulations.
recognize the graduates from the USS Jefferson City class. Students will be called to the stage by rate, name, hometown, and next duty assignment.
Seaman recruit Corey Sarkeesian from Francistown, New Hampshire, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman apprentice Evan Bass from Lakeland, Florida, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman Aaron Stegman from New Hope, Minnesota, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Machinist mate, 3rd class, Robert Cargan from Marlton, New Jersey, reporting to Oxford. Electronics technician, 1st class, James Donahoe from Hammond, Louisiana, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman apprentice Richard Deming from Columbus, Ohio, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Joshua Goodman from West Jefferson, North Carolina, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Jeffrey Summer from Brooklyn, New York, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Machinist mate, 3rd class, John Governator from Garland, Texas, reporting to Oxpac. Seaman Colby Maddox from Macon, Georgia, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Machinist mate, 3rd class, John Blackstock from Jefferson, Georgia, reporting to Oxpac. Seaman recruit O'Keevis Alexander from Jackson, Mississippi, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman recruit Brandon Eniog from Novato, California, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman apprentice Seth Banks from Albany, Louisiana, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman apprentice Andrew Barker from Burlington, Iowa, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman recruit Raymond Beauregard from Port St. Lucie, Florida, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Kyle Beebe from Silver Spring, Maryland, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman recruit Travis Benson from Houston, Texas, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Mason Bourgeois from Prairieville, Louisiana, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Culinary specialist Seaman recruit Micah Brown from Baltimore, Maryland, reporting to the USS San Juan. Seaman recruit Sean Byram from Glendale, California, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman recruit Ivan Carrillo from El Campo, Texas, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman apprentice Justin Charlovich from Eastman, Georgia, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Jesse Siervo from the Bronx, New York, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Logistics Logistics Specialist, Seaman Recruit Joe Davis from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, reporting to the USS Springfield.
Don't be missed it.
Fireman Recruit Matthew Davis from Cincinnati, Ohio, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Logistics Specialist, Seaman Apprentice Brandon Espinoza from Las Vegas, Nevada, reporting to the USS Kentucky Blue. Culinary Specialist, Seaman Recruit Jason Firebin from Alton, Illinois, reporting to the USS Nevada Gold. Logistics Specialist, Seaman Recruit Justin Fleck from Osceola Mills, Pennsylvania, reporting to the USS Chicago. Seaman George Gonring from Newport News, Virginia, reporting to apprenticeship technical training.
Guard.
Seaman Apprentice Evan Gonzalez from Lake Forest, California, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman Victor Granados from El Paso, Texas, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Aviation Machinist Mate 3rd Class Hezekiah Griffiths III from Oceanside, California, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman Ronald Helmick from Mulberry, Florida, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman Anthony Herrera from Brooklyn, New York, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Recruit Charles Hole from Jacksonville, Florida, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Apprentice Luke Ivy from Bear Grove, Missouri, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman Recruit Jeremy Jimenez from San Antonio, Texas, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Recruit Christopher Johnson from Georgetown, Texas, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman Apprentice Alexander Jones from Mitchell, Indiana, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman Recruit Nicholas Kalis from Bakersfield, California, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Ashton Kaminsky from San Antonio, Texas, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Zachary Gills from Derry, Pennsylvania, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Apprentice Devin Lanham from Grafton, West Virginia, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman Apprentice Stephen LaFave from Centralia, Washington, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman Recruit Jonathan Liavano from Houston, Texas, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman Apprentice John McGone from Atlantic City, New Jersey, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman Norman Moncrief from Queens, New York, reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman Pablo Ortiz Rios from Ponce, Puerto Rico, reporting to basic mechanical skills.
Master Chief, we got somebody who would like another picture.
Oh, yeah? Come on back. Go hard. Hey, man, hold that up like you're proud of it.
Seaman Recruit Tyler Baum from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Culinary Specialist Seaman Recruit Christian Perdomo from Los Angeles, California, reporting to the USS Buffalo. Seaman Jeremiah Phillips from Pensacola, Florida, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Recruit Cody Porter from Deltona, Florida, reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman Rafael Rankin Hernandez from Grand Cayman reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman recruit Alexander Robinson from Montville, New Jersey reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman recruit William Robinson from Glendora, New Jersey reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman recruit Angel Rodriguez from San Antonio, Texas reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman recruit Griffin Rubin from Ellijay, Georgia reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Chief Culinary Specialist Dominique Saavedra from Los Angeles, California reporting.
No, I won't give you the rabbit ears.
Seaman Reynald Santiago from Chicago, Illinois reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Seaman recruit Jonathan Sapien from El Paso, Texas reporting to apprenticeship technical training.
Sorry.
Fireman Wesley Sark from Fort Wayne, Indiana reporting to basic mechanical skills.
Yes. Yes, thank you.
Fireman apprentice Adam Schultz from Omaha, Nebraska reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman apprentice Mark Steinoff from Aubrey, Texas reporting to basic mechanical skills. Machinist mate third class Michael Sykes from San Diego, California reporting to apprenticeship technical training.
Hey, yeah. Oh, Carl.
Seaman apprentice Kristen Tompkins from Mapleton, Maine reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman Anthony Torres from Gilbert, Arizona reporting to basic mechanical skills. Seaman apprentice Michael Underwood from East Hampton, Connecticut reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman recruit Bobby Villegas from Los Angeles, California reporting to basic mechanical skills. Fireman Michael Walt from Valencia, California reporting to basic mechanical skills. Culinary specialist Seaman recruit Connor Wiedemuller from Babylon, New York reporting to the USS Toledo. Seaman recruit Braden Wortman from Cleveland, Ohio reporting to apprenticeship technical training. Fireman apprentice David Wozniak from Baltimore, Maryland reporting to basic mechanical skills.
Can I get one, Mark? A quick, David.
You're getting better.
No, absolutely.
Hold that up like you're proud of it.
Over here?
I'll have them turn this way.
Pass sheet.
We get out.
Go back.
Oh,
Just a couple seconds. You're good.
Seaman recruit Lamont Young Hamilton from Humble, Texas reporting to apprenticeship technical training.
Would you just announce the weather one time? It would sound amazing.
All right, round of applause for our recent graduates. All I present to you the Naval Submarine School Command Master Chief, Master Chief Reed.
So, friends, family, thanks for coming. Hopefully you know your support for your sailor is truly important, and it will continue to be important throughout the rest of their time, the rest of their service in the Navy. So I thank you for your support, specifically because my office is above the mailroom, and so whenever you send the cookies and all the other smell good stuff that you put in the boxes and they open it up and it comes wafting in my window, I always love the smell of those cookies. So I just asked them maybe you put a little bit more in the box, because every time I go and ask them, hey, can I have a cookie or something, they said they don't have enough to share with me. So just remember that. So again, thanks for coming. Your support throughout their time in the Navy is going to be extremely valuable to them. So as oftentimes I get to go to a lot of these graduations as the CMC, and as the guest speaker speaking, or Tom is talking about time in the submarine force, keys to be successful. I'm thinking about my journey, my adventure with this, and how wonderful it's been. The other thing I was thinking too is 24 years ago, I sat where you sat. And then, if you noticed, I had this strange look on my face, because now I'm telling on myself. I was like, oh crap, 24 years ago. That's only 20. And then I remembered, April's only 24, so I'm still good. Master Chief's not going to yell at me, not yet. But no, 23 years ago, I sat where you sat, started this great adventure of life in the Navy, and it's been amazing. As I tell you at every NDOC, every time I get to come talk to your class, it's been amazing. It's a small world, so I don't believe in goodbyes, all right? I just tell you I see you later, and I'll give you an example of that. So not too long ago, I was on a trip and I was out